This is a stack of end crystals in Java, and this is what they look like in Bedrock. And here's every difference you should know between Minecraft Bedrock and Java Edition. Supercharged creepers are way more overpowered on Bedrock than they are on Java. This is because in Bedrock, when a supercharged creeper blows up multiple mobs, they'll all drop their heads. But on Java, only one mob will drop their head from the explosion. When you shear a sheep in Java, you can't see what color the sheep was before you sheared it. But in Bedrock, they actually maintain the color after being sheared. This even works when you name a sheep Jeb. They'll still glow rainbow on Bedrock. Check out this hole in the wall. In Java, you can't go through it even with a boat, but in Bedrock, you can go right through. This makes for a super cool base entry or even to surprise a friend. In Bedrock, armor stands are way cooler than Java. If you name an armor stand Dinnerbone, it'll actually go upside down just like a mob would. You can also place items on the hands of the armor stands. But in Java, you can't give armor stands name tags and they also can't hold items. Java armor stands suck. On Bedrock, when it snows, the leaves will actually change colors like they've been snowed on. On Java, this just isn't the case and all we get are some snow in the leaves. On Bedrock, you can push a chest into a shulker. Just push the chest with a piston and it'll enter the shulker. The shulker won't attack you anymore and you can have a cool looking chest. On Java, this doesn't work and you can't even push the chest in the first place. The sun in Bedrock is a little different than Java. In Bedrock, when you look at the sun, your vision is actually worsened. This is meant to stimulate looking at the sun in real life. In Java, this doesn't happen and you can look at the sun all day long. In Java, if you shoot a creeper with a lingering arrow or splash them with a potion and explode them, they'll leave a lingering effect behind after they explode. In Bedrock, this just doesn't happen. Did you know that in Bedrock, if you place down an armor stand and give it a glass block, you can look through things like water? If you use a night vision potion, you can see even clearer. This trick also works for things like honey blocks and slime blocks. This is so trippy. Sadly, on Java, you can't do this. The glass block just doesn't glitch out. Withers in Bedrock are so much more OP. Firstly, they glow white when spawned, unlike in Java where it glows blue. They also have double the HP. A Bedrock Wither has 600 hearts and a Java one only has 300. Bridging in Java mode is a skill lots of people want. It lets you bridge way faster where you crouch and uncrouch while building. On Bedrock, however, you can just place blocks in front of you while walking forward. This is honestly too overpowered. On Java, rails are really strong. You don't need to worry about water messing up your rails as they can't be broken by water. You can even waterlog a rail. On Bedrock, it will break to water and it can be really annoying. Dogs in Bedrock can actually eat fish types. They can even eat a pufferfish. In Java, however, you can't feed a wolf any types of fish. If you manage to find a skeleton horse in Bedrock, you can actually ride it without a saddle. This makes them way better than any normal horse. In Java though, you will need a saddle to ride one. Ghasts are much scarier in Bedrock Edition. When they shoot a fireball, their eyes glow a red color. But in Java, this just doesn't happen and they just shoot the fireball. Did you know in Java, you can actually become super small? Just use this command and you can become super tiny. You're able to fit in some seriously small spaces. You can also change your size and become a literal giant. In Bedrock, however, this command isn't a feature and you cannot change your size. In Bedrock Edition, if you travel 17 million blocks from the world spawn, you'll stumble across some interesting terrain generation. This glitch happens due to the game invalidating every other block, leaving you with a cool stripe pattern in your world. Death messages in each version are a little different. In Java, when you die, you get the iconic death screen, but in Bedrock, when you die, you get a zoom out animation upon death. If you enter the Nether a lot, you might stumble across these fossils in the Soul Sand Valley. In Bedrock Edition, they're much rarer to find compared to Java Edition. Light emitting blocks in Bedrock actually glow in your hotbar. As you can see in Java, they're actually quite dark, but if I hold them in Bedrock, you can see they glow. From the aquatic update, you can now waterlog things like stairs and slabs, but in Bedrock, they took it a lot further. You can actually waterlog things like end portal frames, azalea, bells, beds, brewing stands, and much more. In Java, you can't waterlog any of these things. In Bedrock Edition, if a phantom goes underwater, it'll die there after 20 seconds of drowning. But in Java, a phantom can't die underwater. It'll just fly around. If you're exploring in Bedrock, you can come across things like vines growing off trees and small fallen trees on the ground. In Java, you won't find any of these things. In Bedrock, you can use a fire aspect book to light things like candles, campfires, and TNT. This is such a cool feature. Unfortunately, this doesn't work in Java. In Bedrock Edition, you're able to apply colors to cauldrons. You can make a full rainbow using dyes. In Java, this just doesn't work. In Java Edition, when trading with villagers, you never really know what you'll get when you upgrade them. But in Bedrock Edition, you can see what the trades will be before you level them up. Speaking of villagers, did you know that a Bedrock baby villager head is much larger? This is a baby villager in Bedrock, and this is a baby villager in Java. Their head is much larger on Bedrock. In Java, when you summon a bunch of end crystals, they look like this, almost like a rotating diamond. In Bedrock, they look more like a slanted diamond. Which one do you prefer? In Bedrock, when you walk around, you'll notice that your hands sway much more compared to Java's walking animation. In Bedrock, flying around in creative works a little different. When you fly around, you'll notice that when you stop, you instantly stop right where you're at. But in Java, when you stop mid-flight, you'll keep flying for a while. When you look through the inventory in Bedrock and Java, you'll notice that when moving blocks around, Bedrock has an animation when you shift-click a block to your hotbar. In Java, it just goes there instantly. Also in Bedrock, when you click an item, the block appears to grow much larger. But in Java, the block stays the same size when you click it. In Java Edition, when placing flowers on snow, it removes the snow and makes for an ugly looking scene. But in Bedrock, you can place the snow back on the flower, giving it a seamless look. In Bedrock, you can notice that you're actually in the top left corner of your screen. It displays every action you're doing, like swimming, running, or flying. In Java, you don't have this in the corner. Just like how you can dye shulker boxes in both versions, you can actually dye shulkers themselves in Bedrock. There's no real use for this, but it's a cool feature nonetheless. Leads in Bedrock are amazing. First off, they have a ragdoll gravity animation, allowing them to hang when you move closer or farther from a mob. You can also attach a lead to a boat, allowing you to haul them through the water. We all know that Minecraft PvP was changed in 1.8 from the classic spamming to a cooldown system. But did you know that Bedrock still has pre-1.8 PvP? Which PvP do you prefer? In Bedrock Edition, when a baby animal grows up, they slowly grow into their adult form, showing a teenage phase. In Java, however, they just skip right to an adult. In Bedrock, when you throw a fishing rod, you'll notice that the bobber is actually a 3D render in the water. I personally prefer this much more than the 2D bobber in Java that tracks you. In Bedrock, the creative menu is a little different from Java. There's only 4 categories with drop-downs for item groups, while in Java, there's 12 categories. In Bedrock, the water looks a lot worse than Java. This is because it changes color depending on the biome that you're in. This means that if you're in a swamp biome, the water will look all gross and green. In Java Edition, it only changes depending on what type of body of water it is. If it's a warmer ocean, it'll be lighter blue, and if it's a colder ocean, it'll be darker blue. This is a salmon in Java, and this is a salmon in Bedrock. As you can see, the salmon in Bedrock is much larger. This is because salmon can be 3 different sizes in Bedrock compared to the single size in Java. In Bedrock Edition, you can use the play animation command to create some cool things. Firstly, with this command, you can make every mob do a cool dance. You can also make every mob's body massive with their head staying the same size. This is so cursed. A furnace in Minecraft can be used to propel a minecart forward in Java Edition. This is the unique and cool feature, but sadly in Bedrock Edition, you can't craft a furnace in a minecart. In Bedrock Edition, when you get set on fire, you can actually light candles in campfires with your body. Unfortunately, in Java Edition, this just isn't a feature. In Bedrock, tridents are much better. Firstly, they're much easier to come across as they have a much higher chance to be dropped from drown. The impaling enchant also does 2 times more damage to mobs in Bedrock Edition versus Java Edition that are currently wet. In Bedrock Edition, you can break an enchantment table with your fists. However, if you attempted this in Java, you'd be out a couple diamonds. If you were to fall into the void in Bedrock, you would actually take no void damage. This is a nice twist because in Java Edition, you die to the void even in creative mode. In Bedrock Edition, when you use a booking quill, you actually see 2 pages on your screen. In Java Edition, you only see 1 page. In Java Edition, mobs cannot pathfind over railways. This can make for some super cool build hacks, but don't go trying this in Bedrock Edition as they can easily walk over them.